I wondered if, when you were young, if learning to be funny was as much of a coping mechanism or a survival mechanism as it was something you did for joy.
Yeah, you learn to be analytical. You know, you learn to kind of figure things out. And humor, you know, I think humor requires a lot of like information.
Like understanding your environment and where people stand.
Exactly. Yeah, you learn to use it to your advantage, you know, in school, in the neighborhood.
When did you notice that, like, oh, I can do this, and I can turn a phrase or make people laugh at something that they didn't see before?
8th grade was really big.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was an important time for me. You know, just having this teacher that, you know, encouraged me to read a lot independently and to question everything, gather information. I remember one time he started doing these class debates, and there was this article. I don't remember exactly what was in the article, but it was about a man that committed a crime, but he had like a somewhat righteous cause for doing it. I remember those details.
Okay.
But he was dividing up the class and like who agreed with this guy and thought that he was justified in doing it, and who disagreed. And I remember he said, who think he wasn't justified, in the entire class except me raised their hand.
Really?
And then they were like, well, who agrees with the guy? And I raised my hand, and then we argued for like 25 minutes. I remember it being the most fun time I'd ever had in class, ever had in school. It meant the most to me, and I just remember holding my own against, you know, like 20 other students.
That sounds strangely akin to stand-up, because it's one guy with a whole sort of audience that you have to sort of win over.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that one experience, that single experience, informed so much of, like, you know, my life or humor more than any individual experience I can think of.
It must have also been notable that you were the only person that took an opposing viewpoint.
Yeah, and it was natural. And that's kind of a rule for stand-up for me too, is that never be contrarian for the sake of, you know, like,
right.
Always have a truthful intention behind what you say, because that's what people will connect with, you know, and that's what will give license to, you know, I think people's attention. People will actually give you their time if they know that it's coming from an honest place and that it's really a thought or emotion that you want to work out. You know, I think that people respond to that.